Hello, YouTube! Ultimate Cups are just around the corner. I know we have a full month of regionals ahead of us, but I wanted to release this video a little early for all the people, like myself, who aren't playing any regionals this month, because I'm that good, for example. For those of you that are unaware, just a quick recap of the rules set. They're still going with monocolor, so this Ultimate Cup is still monocolor, but with a similar ban list where the only new additions are Hydramon to 1 and EX2 Impmon to 1. Greymon X is already at 1, so that's fine, and everything else is the same. So things like Death X are still banned and all that fun stuff. So nothing too crazy is happening. They nerfed what would be the best two decks in the format, but I don't think that's going to matter. In this video, I'm going to give you 12... I don't have that many fingers. I'm going to give you 12 decks that you can consider for Ultimate Cup. The first 5 are going to be anywhere from alright, they have a chance to win, to copium. The next 2 after that are going to be like the middle, like I have faith in these decks. Would I play them? I don't know. I'd play anything really. And then the top 5 decks are the decks that I think you need to actually anticipate playing against because they will be that good. I guess now that I'm thinking about it, there's technically 13 decks with 3 in the middle section because they're Greymon decks. So, spoiler alert. And I'll go through each of the 12 decks or 13 decks in brief detail, going over a few bullet points of each and why you should consider them or expect to see them at the Ultimate Cup. And please let me know what you think about this video. Like, comment, subscribe to the notification bell on the Smash Potatoes. That way you know when all these amazing Digimon videos do go live. Without further ado, let's start off with the 5 copium to alright decks. Number 1 is Shine Greymon. Shine Greymon got a whole lot of new goodies in BT12, and you can do a very nice red base for Shine Greymon. And while Shine Greymon right now doesn't have quite as much power as we'll have BT13, in an Ultimate Cup format where the best decks are kind of nerfed or eliminated in the form of Hunters and Crossheart, Shine Greymon has a chance to shine. Between like Greymon X Protection and Marcus Punch and Rise Greymons and Shine, there's a lot of tools the deck has to be successful. So I definitely think that you could see Shine Greymon at an Ultimate Cup, and I think you could do well with it. Next up is Dorbikmon, the deck that cost me my Ultimate Cup win in the last format, and I'm still very upset over it. Regardless, it's just a big red OTK deck that plays anywhere from 8 to 12 draw 2 cards, plus Guilmons to draw more cards, and then you just get a big Dorbik red tower on the field, you swing at your opponent's face, do a lot of damage, pop their stuff, gain memory. It's an OTK deck. You will see it for sure. It's maybe a little bit less consistent than other decks, but once you start that train, once you start going draw power and the draw power and the draw power, it's pretty well near unstoppable to stop. You can definitely see this in Ultimate Cup. I'm fully expecting someone to bring this out and do well with it. Next up is Yellow Hybrid. So Yellow Hybrid is one of my favorite decks of all time. A truly skill-based and very carefully cautious deck that you can't just willy-nilly do your stuff and have a good day. You gotta be extra careful, especially with Sunrise Buster and Jet Sylphie and Reinforced Memory Boost still at 1. It sucks. But last Ultimate Cup, Yellow Hybrid had a few appearances here and there in the top. And I think that it can happen again. I really do. Yellow Hybrid is just that good. Has a lot of toolboxing cards. Can play whatever yellow bosses you want, whatever tamers you want. I think there's a lot of variety for Yellow Hybrid. A lot of flexibility. And because of that, I do believe Yellow Hybrid will see play and probably steal a few top spots in it as well. Again, now we're moving on to deck number 4 in the copium list to alright list, and it is Grandis. I really do believe Grandis can do well. I did come 3rd place with it last Ultimate Cup, and it got a new Grand Kuwagamon in BT12, one that I'd argue is better than the one we were using previously. It can suspend attack on evolution and gain a memory. It's pretty good, and I think it's really just honestly okay. It's like a good deck. It's a good green OTK deck. It can beat your opponent, I don't know where, and I think that's alright. I do think that if you brought Grandis to an event and you high-rolled your way through, you'll probably do fine. Grandis is on the list because I've personally experienced it. I know it can work, and I know it can work again. And the last deck on the first list here is Gallantmon. I would raise Gallantmon higher, but Gallantmon is just Not as good as it needs to be, unfortunately. That being said, it has the tools to do well. It has a new Gallantmon with Raid, it has new Takudo as well as old Takudo, and a whole lot of other stuff going on. For the deck, it can punish the going wide decks like Beelzemon and Bloomlord and all of that stuff. So I do definitely see a case for Gallantmon. Gallantmon can definitely top. It can definitely do well. If you come out of nowhere with Gallantmon and your opponent doesn't know how to play against it, if they just commit bodies to the board for some reason, you have a really easy time doing well at Ultimate Cup with Gallantmon. Alright, now we're entering the middle stage where there's technically three decks I want to talk about. We'll start with the first two obvious ones. I'll combine them, whatever. Black War Greymon and War Greymon. Why I think these are middle decks is because you need to pick a color. And with both colors, you're gaining an incredible resource and you're also losing an incredible resource. If you're playing the black version, you do get access to BT12 Tie, which is a very good card for the deck. What do you lose though? You lose BT9 Greymon X protection. So literally a singular Rivals Barrage out of security can ruin your day. It really can. You have no protection against that kind of stuff. It's a little more glass cannon. And while you might be trying to control their board a little more with Black or Greymon cards, or be a big black blocker because of Tie, your big black blocker can just get blown up with no protection. On the opposite end, if you're playing the red package, yes, you get Greymon X protection. You also lose Tie, which is one of the main draws as to why, the BT12 Greymon decks are doing so well right now, because they have access to Tie. Not having that really sucks. I'm going to be the first person to tell you that. You just lose the ability to be a blocker if you're playing the red version of it. So it might enable you to be a little more aggressive and with a little more protection from options. But you do lose the extra 1000 DP and the blocker and the reduced memory cost that you get from the evolution. So because of the choice you have to make, you can also play Deltamon, by the way. But Deltamon, okay, cool. It's an awkward choice, which is why I'm not rating the decks higher. But I'm certain someone will start testing it. They'll pick a color. They'll say, oh, black is just better. And they'll go with it, and they'll do well. I'm absolutely confident that War Greymon decks, or Black War Greymon decks, or both, will actually do well at Ultimate Cup. And the other deck in the middle section here, not too cold but not too hot, is Blue Flare. Blue Flare made some waves last Ultimate Cup. And I didn't get a whole lot of new stuff for BT12 that really helped it, to be honest. But Blue Flare was a top contender in last year's Ultimate Cup. And that is the only reason it is on this list where it is. I personally do not believe in Blue Flare. I believe it's Poo Flare. Everyone that knows me knows exactly how I feel about it. I think it's Poopy Flare until EX4 and then it's Tier 1. But until then, we have to deal with what we got. And I don't honestly think that it's bad. I really don't think it's bad. I think it can top Ultimate Cups. Hell, it might even win an Ultimate Cup if someone high rolls the fuck out of the whole day. But it's really easy to play around, in my opinion. And that's it. That's why I'm not putting Blue Flare any higher. But I definitely respect it. And it's something that if I'm playing the Ultimate Cups, I need to be able to know how to play against properly with the deck that I'm choosing to use. Now we go to the top 5 decks. These are the decks that I believe are the Tier 1 decks. The best decks, the decks that have the highest chance of winning, and these are in no particular order, by the way. I'm not ranking these decks at all. Pick a deck and go nuts. First, we'll start with Machine Dramon. Machine Dramon got new toy in Chaos Dramon X Antibody. That card is a monster. Well, it makes it very hard to remove its big black presence from the board. Between Analog Man and losing key removal cards in the format, like you can't just do a Resto Dramon Superior mode as easily anymore. Can't just tuck that Chaos Dramon X and forget about it. You can't just freaking Chaos Deck it because it's that one. You can de-Digivolve it, probably, sure, but like it gets awkward. It's a tower deck with protection and layers of protection to go with it. Not to mention it can just aggro you out of the game. Yeah, it's only black base you'll be playing, but that's fine. That's not a big deal. You're still going to pop things, control the board, game memory, and Analog Man. It's going to be absolutely insane. So I do think that Machine Dramon / Chaos Dramon does make it in the top 5, and you should expect to play against it in the Ultimate Cup. Next list I want to talk about is Red Hybrid. Red Hybrid is really fast, especially in Ultimate Cup format. It just gets better and better because nothing was really hit. Um, you can't play Blitz Omni. Okay, just play Blitz Emperor Gray with Takuyas, or play more memory cards and Hybrid for game. It's not a big deal. And with the new hybrid support and the toggling you can do and all this, Red Hybrid, the ceiling's actually a lot higher than it used to be. Me, I'd probably just rock Ancient Greymon and just fucking swing for 5 checks and hybrid for game. I would do that, but I know that some people just don't like that and they'll just go the Emperor route completely. And I respect it. The deck deserves your respect or it will kill you. So I definitely think that you need to know how to play against Red Hybrid for the Ultimate Cup because it can just win games and steal games out of nowhere. Next up is All Force. All Force, All Force, All Force. With the new BT12 All Force to add additional layers of combo wombo to the deck. I think All Force in regular format is pretty bad. But All Force in Ultimate Cup, where a lot more decks are checked, so to speak, is really powerful. Same as last format, same as last Ultimate Cup format. There's just less ways to deal with it in a monocolored format, and it's a lot more consistent than some of the other decks out there right now. So yes, All Force between the new All Force, the old All Force, Arenas, and all the other Tamers, yes, definitely a scary deck. You need to be prepared for it, and it only loses really to Quartzmon, which is the next deck we're going to talk about. The fourth out of the 5 Tier 1 decks, in my opinion, are Bloomlord Quartzmon. One Hydromon, no problem. You can play Shivamon instead, and then suspend that Shivamon with the Quartzmon in the field to make sure your opponent cannot kill your Quartzmon options literally ever. Yes, it's disgusting. It is gross. And one Hydra, I don't think will make a huge difference, if you want my opinion. One Hydra is more than enough to control on the board if you draw it, and if not, just Bloomlord OTK them. And if not, just Quartzmon and lock them down. It's a big combo deck. It will reward skillful play. You can't just go herp derp with Bloomlord like you can with Grandis. You have to actually think about every single play you do, conserve every resource, and go off when the time is right to go off. And then when you Quartzmon at the right time, you end the game. That's how it works. Yeah, expect to see Bloomlord. Even without the Hydramons, it's still going to be more than scary. And the final deck, I saved the best for last, in my opinion, and my personal bias, Beelzemon. Yes, limiting EX2 Impmon takes away 3 of your mill cards. Whoop-de-doo! You know what I mean? I don't think that's a big deal at all. I think Beelzemon will still mill cards like crazy. You can play additional cards to mill cards. Like you can actually go back to playing Mist Memory Boost if you want to, or whatever, however you want to do it. You can play Turbo Beels that doesn't require a stack, and you play Pogomons instead. There's so many ways you can still do Beelzemon that can still high roll you. X Antibody Beelzemon can still burn 2-3 security at a time. It ain't going anywhere. I know some people think that this EX2 Impmon hit is the nail in the coffin, but I tell you, it's not even close. You better be prepared to play against Beelzemon, and you better be prepared for them milling their whole deck, because even with one EX2 Impmon, they can still do it. Alright, that's it. That's it for my little Ultimate Cup 12-13 deck video of decks you could expect to see there. Hopefully, if you guys want to start playtesting the format, I definitely recommend getting an upper edge while everyone else testing for regionals. Definitely do that. The price support is kind of worth it, in my opinion, for Ultimate Cups. Kind of. I've had this talk before. But yeah, let me know what you think about the comment section below about the decks. Did I miss any decks? Do you think any decks are going to be not so copium, maybe tier 1? Or do you think some of the tier 1 decks are copium? You guys let me know what you think in the comments. I always love reading the comments. You guys take care. We'll see you later.